Hi, in this presentation, I'm going to be talking about the different camera angles or shots that you can use to create your film. Now, there are many more than what you're going to see in this presentation, but these are the most common and they're more on the basic side of filmmaking. You'll see these a lot in different television shows and in films. Another thing I would like to make sure you are aware of, I'm only going to be talking about static shots in this presentation. By static shots, I mean shots that do not move. I've included 4 videos that will instruct you on moving shots in the same folder where you found this. So be sure to watch those because those will also be included in the scavenger hunt that you are about to do. And you want to make sure that you know how to execute them properly before you do the scavenger hunt. All right, so let's get started on the static camera angle lesson. And the first shot we're going to talk about is the long shot. Long shot is very often the very first shot you see in a film. It contains a lot of information, and it is generally used to let the audience know where the movie will take place. It is also called an establishing shot. So if you look at the shot example on the left, we would be able to figure out that this probably is going to be taking place at a school. Whereas the shot of New York would indicate to us that we're probably going to be in Manhattan for this movie. So a long shot, a lot of information, and it's very often early in a film and it sets up where each scene is going to be taking place. The next one we're going to talk about is the medium close-up or MCU. This one the camera moves a little bit closer and it typically contains the torso and the head of an actor. Now, when you're framing this up, you want to make sure that there's not too much space above the actor's head. These are both good examples because there's just a little bit of space above the actor's head, but it's not too much. You don't want to have a lot of dead space above the actor's head. Sometimes you can get away with cutting off the actor's head a little bit, but generally you want to have a little bit of space above the actor's head. And these are both very good examples of that shot. Next, we're going to talk about the close-up or CU. Now, as you can see, we're getting a little bit closer each time, and the frame is containing less and less information. The close-up usually is just the actor's head. In the Wonder Woman shot, it's her head and it's a little bit of her shoulder, but our guy down on the right, you can see it's pretty much just his head and maybe a little bit of his shoulders as well. And it's used to show some emotion. Our guy over on the right looks a little surprised. Wonder Woman doesn't look like she's too happy about whatever she's saying. And you can see in both of these, both of their heads are a little bit cut off, and that was what I was talking about in the medium close-up. And you can get away with that kind of stuff, but you wouldn't want to push the camera frame down where it's just into her, if it like her forehead was cut off or his forehead was cut off. That would be a little, the frame would be a little off if you did that. And again, just like with a medium close-up, you wouldn't want to have too much space above their heads. Now, the next shot we're going to talk about is an extreme close-up or ECU. And as you can see, the camera is just getting closer and closer to whatever we're filming. An extreme close-up is very close to an object or person, and it's used to show extreme emotion. Or in this case, a dog's nose. Basically, an extreme close-up is the exact opposite of a long shot, where a long shot contains a lot of information and extreme close-up focuses on one specific thing. And in our top example, we see somebody that's obviously not happy with whatever is going on, and we really want to get in close and see what they're feeling and thinking. And that is what an extreme close-up is all about. Next, we're going to talk about a high angle shot. Now, for this one, the camera placement is important. So I've included 2 examples of where you should place the camera. So the camera is placed up high and it is tilted forward at an angle. That is very important. So a lot of times people will get the up high correct, but they maybe tilt the camera to the right or left. The camera needs to be tilted forward to achieve this shot. And what this does, it implies that the character has low status and it makes whatever you're filming look weak. And I think those are 2 good examples. We have the little girl who's very upset, and our Harry Potter character who's been knocked down and is pretty much flat on his back and trying to defend himself. So these are 2 very good examples of what a high angle shot should look like. The opposite of a high angle shot is a low angle shot. So I'm betting you can probably guess that if a high angle shot has the camera up high and tilted forward, the low angle shot is placed low and tilted up. And for this, it makes the subject appear powerful and superior, and it implies dominance. And you can see in our two examples, we've got Darth Vader, who's looking very, very strong. And on the left side, we've got our heroes that are trying to save the day and are looking very, very powerful indeed. And in the middle, we've got the examples of how the camera should be placed. So low and tilted upward. Next, we're going to be talking about the over-the-shoulder shot. And this is also called an OTS. Now, for this, I also wanted to include a shot of where the camera should be positioned, and you can see that in the bottom. So the camera is positioned over the shoulder of an actor while capturing another actor's face. The camera is usually placed over the shoulder of the non-speaking character. And most of the time, this is going to be used for conversations. Obviously, the conversation on the left is a little bit more intense than the one that's happening on the right, but the over-the-shoulder shot would apply for both. Now, the one on the left is over the shoulder, but it also includes the entire non-speaking actor's head. For the one on the right, it's pretty much just his shoulder. So over-the-shoulder shot is used for conversations. And again, these are just some of the basic shots that you can use to help tell your story. And I do want to reemphasize that please make sure you go and watch the YouTube videos that are included that talk about the moving shots that you can use to help tell your stories. Thank you so much for listening. Get out there and get your cameras rolling.